This funerary statue depicts the king Montuhotep II in the form of the god Osiris, wrapped in a tight white cloak with his arms folded across his chest. He is wearing the red crown of Lower Egypt, where Thebes or Luxor, his capital, was located. Montuhotep II was the first pharaoh of the 11th dynasty and was responsible for reuniting Egypt after the first intermediate period. His mortuary temple, where Howard Carter found this statue, is located next to the temple of Queen Hatshepsut at Deir el-Bahari. This statue is made of sandstone and dates back to the 11th dynasty. Its height is 2 meters and its length is 1 meter and the width is 47 meters. The stela of Amenemhat's family, which dates back to the 11th dynasty and made of limestone, it is 30 centimeters high and 50 centimeters long. This rectangular stela shows Amenemhat with his wife, son, and daughter. All the figures are shown seated except his daughter. She stands before an offering table full of with different kinds of oblations. The son is depicted seated between his parents. Beneath the seated lady, there is a basket containing a mirror that would have been used for applying makeup. The scene shows a longing to maintain the unity of the family both in life and the life after. These two model papyrus fishing boats were found in the tomb of Meket Ra. They are filled with fishermen doing their work and being directed by an oarsman sitting at the stern. A huge net with wooden floaters is stretched between the two boats and filled with fish. It made of wood dates back to the 11th dynasty and its height is 31.5 centimeters, length 95 centimeters and 62 centimeters wide. While here this is a model of weaving and textile workshop. In this model from the collection of Meket Ra, which shows a weaving workshop, a group of women are preparing the flax for spinning and then weaving it on two horizontal looms. Some of the women are squatting while they weave the linen on their looms. Others are busy spinning, which involves standing and holding up the spindle wire. This workshop is 26 centimeters high and 93 centimeters wide, while its width is 43 centimeters. And this model from Meket Ra's also funerary furniture shows carpenters in their workshop. They are busy with woodworking of various kinds. One carpenter in the middle is sawing a piece of wood while other carpenters are working around the sides, holding holes. A workman sits in the middle of the scene and uses a mold and chisel to cut out mortise holes. At the corners, a number of men gather around a fire to reshape and sharpen the metal blades of their tools. Also, it's made of wood and its height is 26 centimeters, its length 67 centimeters, and it is 52 centimeters wide. One of the most characteristic things in the Egyptian museum, and it considered a masterpiece too, is the model of Meketra counting the cattle. This model is 55 centimeters high and 172 centimeters long, while its width is 72 centimeters. This large model scene shows a courtyard where the inspection of cattle took place. Meketra, his son, and four scribes sit under a columned canopy with officials and guards standing nearby. Cattle are driven before them by several farmers and herdsmen in order to be counted for inspection purposes. All men are wearing short kilts, and the farmers who drive the cattle are wearing long wigs and holding sticks. This model, portraying a group of young pikemen, natives of the Nome of Asyut, was found in the tomb of Messi Heti. The pikemen are arranged in 10 rows of 4 each, as they march in disciplined step, carrying their shields, which are covered with animal skin. In their right hands, the soldiers hold spears in an upright position. The statues are sculpted with the incredible degree of realism. It made of wood dates back to the 11th dynasty. The height of it is 59 centimeters and 193 centimeters long. While this one or these modern models of 40 Nubian archers are grouped together on the same pedestal and arranged in 10 rows of 4 each. Each archer is holding in one hand a bow and in the other a bunch of arrows. They are wearing red kilts with green designs and a flap of cloth in the center, decorated with a green geometrical design. They wear black curled wigs, white headbands, anklets, and necklaces. The whites of their eyes contrast strangely with the black color of their bodies. The archers are all shown barefooted, with their left legs stretched forward so that they appear to be marching in unison with long strides. All these were evidence as the first organized army or military was the Egyptian. This one is 55 centimeters high and its length is 193 centimeters too. This small wooden statue of King Senusert I was found in a private tomb. It consists of several pieces joined together with wooden pins. The king wears the white crown of Upper Egypt and holds in his left hand the hika, crook-shaped scepter of the ruler, while his right hand might have held the Sikkim scepter, symbol of authority. His kilt is plastered and painted white. This statue is 56 centimeters high, while here there is another one made of granite and its height is 271 centimeters. Senusert I is wearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, protected by the cobra. The beard is attached to his chin by 2 bands attached to his headdress. He wears the traditional pleated shinditi kilt. The cartouche of the king is engraved on the belt buckle. He is holding a folded cloth in his right and a scepter in his left hand. The otherwise formalic depiction of Senusert I is enlivened by a slight smile on his face and well-defined muscles on his torso. Also, another statue of the king, and they are of 10 statues made out of limestone, depicting King Senusert I seated on his throne, wearing the Nemes headdress decorated with the frontal cobra. The statues differ slightly from one to another and bear the harmonious features of a young man with a serene expression. The most remarkable thing about these statues is the decoration on the sides of the thrones, showing the theme of unification of the two lands, which was associated with Hapi, the Nile god. Although on five of the statues, Hapi is replaced by representations of the gods Horus and Set. This particular statue in the Egyptian Museum is one of the rare cases where the image of Set, the god of confusion, power, and desert, wasn't destroyed throughout the superstition of the later generations. This golden royal cobra of King Senusert II was once fixed to the front of the royal headdress or the crown of the king. The body of the cobra is made of hammered gold inlaid with semi-precious stones. The head is made of lapis lazuli, while the eyes are made of garnet. The neck is decorated with lapis lazuli and feldspar. The golden tail has two looping turns, and two ringlets are attached to the back of the snake and its body for attaching it to the crown or the headdress of the king. In the vital capacity, the cobra was used to decorate royal headdresses or crowns of kings and queens of Egypt. The statue is made of the gold and semi-precious stones. It dates back to the 12th dynasty. Its height is 6.7 centimeters and the width is 3 centimeters. While the mirror of Princess Sat Hathor is 28 centimeters high and its width is 15 centimeters, this masterpiece of art and technology is an actual of Princess Sat Hathor. She was one of the daughters of Senusert II. The silver disc of the mirror is attached to the obsidian handle throughout a small tongue. The handle is in the shape of an open papyrus topped by the head of the goddess Hathor, whose representation is made out of gold with eyes of lapis lazuli. The inclusion of Hathor was intended to impart beauty and joy of its owner. King Sesostris III or Senusert III, who ruled Egypt for about 36 years, was one of the greatest kings of the 12th dynasty. During his reign, artists showed a tendency to depart from the older idealistic forms of rendering royal sculptures, and instead they strived both for more realistic and for more exaggerated features. The king was no more considered to be a divinity, but a human being. This is reflected in the king's face, which has wrinkles, a pouting mouth, and a protruding chin. All these features show old age, a serious nature, and perhaps even certain weariness. On his head, he wears the pleated linen royal headdress with the cobra protecting his brow. His ears are relatively large, and his small eyes are hidden beneath the heavy eyebrows. The cobra and the nose are almost completely broken. The height of this head is 30 centimeters. While his daughter Merit has a necklace with a pictorial decoration, had once adorned the figure of Queen Merit, or Mary Ret, the daughter of King Senusert III and sister of his successor Amnemhat III. It bears a cartouche containing the decorations and the coronation names of Amnemhat III. The king, represented as two falcon-headed sphinxes, smites his enemies. Above the vulture goddess Nekhbet is shown spreading out her wings to protect the figure of the king and his name. This masterpiece is made of gold, lapis lazuli, and turquoise. It dates back to the 12th dynasty and its height is 6.1 centimeters while its width is 8.5 centimeters. This statue depicts the Queen Nefrut sitting on the throne while wearing a Hathor wig decorated with three tresses of hair and a huge cobra on the forehead. The skill of the artist appears in the rendering of the queen's low opening robe and large bracelets that ornament her thick ankles. The queen is presented in a highly symbolic way with oversized limbs as well as large face and ears used to denote her prominent position in the society. On the breast of the queen appears a large piece of jewelry with beautifully incised open pictorial work. There are some remains of hieroglyphic inscriptions that were erased in the past and are thought to have been references to the titles acquired by the Queen Nefrut herself. The statue, made of black granite, and its height is 165 centimeters. Seven statues of Amenemhat III, representing him as a sphinx, were found in Tanis in the eastern delta, so they acquired the collective name of the Tanit Sphinxes. They evoke the superhuman power of the king and emphasize his fearful appearance. The vigorous face of the pharaoh is characterized by his prominent cheekbones, also the protuberant mouth, and deeply forward cheeks, intended to create an impression of the strength. Instead of the traditional Nemes headdress, his face is framed by a massive lion's mane that increases the sense of his majesty. The statues rest in tall and solid bases decorated with cartouches of several souvenirs such as the Hyksos king Nehsi, Ramesses II, Merenptah, and Basonis I. Throughout the centuries, all these kings had used the motif of the Sphinx. Such was the power of the symbolism. Egyptologists had mistakenly called them the Hyksos Sphinxes because of their strange visage and the different names of the kings containing a Hyksos ruler too. These statues, made of granite, dates back to the 12th dynasty. Each is 220 centimeters long and 75 centimeters wide. This is the upper part of a larger than life-size statue of King Amenemhat III, carved in grey granite. It depicts the king as a high priest wearing panther skin. The high cheekbones, wrinkled face, and pouted mouth identify the statue as belonging to the 12th dynasty ruler, King Amenemhat III. This statue had been formerly attributed to a Hyksos king of the 17th dynasty. It is also the first time we see the king portrayed as the standard bearer or as a high priest. The height of this statue is 100 centimeters and its width is around 99 centimeters. This wooden head is a part of a composite female statue. The parts of this statue were sculpted separately and then assembled. It is believed to have belonged to a princess or even a queen of the 12th dynasty, based on the fine depictions of the face. The careful selection of the precious materials and in the excavations of the wig, we can see the black hair of the princess or her forehead covered by the wig. It is attached to the head by tenons made of black material inlaid with gold. The eyes of the statue were originally inlaid but have since gone missing. Statue made of wood and dates back to the 12th dynasty. Its height is 10.5 centimeters. This one depicts a walking woman that is fixed onto a rectangular base. She carries a basket containing four red jars, mostly like used for wine. The jars are sealed with conical lids. Her left hand supports the basket, while her right hand is by her side, holding a duck by its wings. She's wearing a long three-part wig that reaches her chest and a long tunic that finished before the ankles. Two wide braces covering her chest support the tunic. Her neck is decorated with a necklace of multiple strings of red, green, white, and blue beads. Her wrists are decorated with small bracelets. The lady is barefooted, and her ankles are decorated with two bands. This grossed and painted wood dates back to the 12th dynasty, and its height is 123 centimeters. This is one of the most magnificent inscribed and painted sarcophagi from the Middle Kingdom. It was made for the General Sibai of the 15th Nom of Upper Egypt. The exterior sides of the wooden sarcophagus are decorated with painted hieroglyphics depicting the names, titles, and offering formulas. Two Wajit eyes are located at the top of the false door that is depicted on the side to which the mask of the Anthropocene shaped coffin is turned. The interior decoration is entirely painted and contains a series of spells in cursive hieroglyphics taken from the coffin texts and from the Book of the Two Ways, which contained a map of the underworld in ancient Egypt. The sarcophagus, made of limestone, and its height is 70 centimeters, while it is 65 centimeters wide. This wooden structure is a magnificent and well-preserved masterpiece. It depicts the Ka statue of King Ib-Ra-Hur, which is clearly marked by the Ka hieroglyphic sign as two upraised arms topping the head. The Ka, or guardian spirit, had to survive in the statue to keep its owner alive. The statue, found within its accompanying naos or shrine, was covered with a fine layer of painted stucco. The king is sculpted wearing a three-part long wig, leaving the ears exposed. He wears a long and curved divine beard. It is noteworthy that the sculptor successfully modeled the eyes with inlaid rock crystal and quartz, lending a lifelike appearance to the expressive face. The eyes are inlaid with rock crystal and quartzite. It seems that the Ka statue once held a scepter in its right hand and a staff in its left hand. The statue of the king was fixed to a wooden panel that could be taken out of the naos itself. The statue dates back to the 13th dynasty, and it is 170 centimeters high, its length 77 centimeters, and it is 27 centimeters wide. Bright blue Egyptian faience figures of a hippopotami such as these were placed in the tombs of high-ranking civil servants towards the end of the Middle Kingdom, modeled in motion, ambling along and decorated with water plants and animals. The hippopotami are depicted as if slipping through the waters of the Nile. This blue faience dates back to the 17th dynasty, and they are 11.5 centimeters high and 21.5 centimeters long.